Hi guys, welcome to Truckzone.com. This is Mohit Soni, and right in front of you is the Lexus NX300H. If you're wondering why do we have this car here, it was launched in India almost 3 years ago, and it's well because Lexus called us and said, why don't you spend some time with the car again, and we thought we should let you know about the same, do a video about it, and let's see what the Lexus NX is all about. We're going to be covering it briefly, and let's begin with the design as always. Well, this is a very handsome looking design in true Lexus tradition. It's very sharp, very aggressive, is bold, edgy at the same time, so getting this balance is very difficult, but Lexus manages it somehow, and that's the reason why their cars are extremely popular in every category they enter. Let's begin with the spindle grille design at the front. It looks very big, very sharp. It's got a narrow tone to it. We've seen spindle grills in other Lexus cars which are far more bigger, but nevertheless the design here is really good. You get these lovely striking LED DRLs here, and even more amazing looking LED headlamps here. They've got their own washer as well, so really good front end. It's got a good amount of chrome as well running around here all the way throughout throughout the grill, highlighting the entire spindle grill. You've got these 4 vents here along with cornering fog lamps as well. Coming to the side, this is again a very dramatic part. Usually it's not. It's got this coupe-ish form. At the same time, it's very bold with a very large door and a slightly smaller glass area. This gives it that coupe look, and it gives it a much more muscular look as well. You can see there's creases running around. It's a very dynamic line running all the way till the end, and it sort of vanishes away with the sheet metal here. And you've got these lovely looking 18-inch alloy wheels, gunmetal finish to a large extent, and this hybrid badge here. And as you can see, the C-pillar kink is very distinct, very sharp, very aggressive. Coming to the back, again bold and striking and futuristic at the same time. You can see it's got it sort of follows the front end design, and it looks pretty much exactly how the front was designed, but in a way it has its own unique identity. You've got these again traditional LED tail lamps from Lexus now, which is being copied in other premium cars as well. So that is the entire car, a very dynamic, bold, edgy SUV. It's got all the right proportions, the right elements to make it stand out, and even still, and in this slightly dark color, it still stands out, it still grabs attention. So getting inside the cabin, as you can see, the first thing that you notice is the lovely beige and black, done really well. Usually this is the color set that most Indians are used to in normal cars as well as luxury cars. Well, here I think it's done even better. The colors chosen, which color goes where, shows in the way the cabin reflects itself as a very posh yet simplistic way of doing things. You've got a powered seat, you've got electric tailgate, 360 degree view camera, heated steering, which I think will be great for the northern Indian consumers. And these are the seat fold buttons, so if somebody's behind and they want their seats folded, you can do that in this way. As you can see, the seat is going down. These are the seat memory seat functions, and the usual bits such as the power window switches. And inside, as you can see, it's got a very distinct, very old school steering wheel. I think that looks a bit dated, but it serves its purpose really well. It's a very high quality leather finished steering wheel, and as you can see, this part looks extremely busy, but then on day one itself, after a couple of hours, you'll be just fine understanding the interior. That is the EV mode. Once the battery is sufficiently charged, it can run on EV mode. I'll let you know more about that. Electronic park brake, auto hold, the mouse pad to control this very large infotainment screen, which now has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And what the Lexus NX300H also gets is this absolutely lovely Mark & Levinson sound system, which is segment best indeed. The sound quality is spot on, and as you can see, these are mostly AC controls, and this is one of the two features that the Indian market loves very clearly, is heated and cooled seats. And you know, as we all know, hotter areas deserve this feature in almost most cars nowadays, and it's great to see it's on the Lexus NX as well. And the second most important feature is of course a full-size moonroof. It's not a sunroof, it won't open entirely, it just lets light into the cabin, and that is how it should be, instead of poking your head outside. And that's not the safest way to enjoy this roof. And yeah, lends in a lot of light, and it's electronically adjustable for this sun shield. You've got a glove box which is lockable and quite big in size, and you've got a lot of space here in the door pads to make sure that you can keep a lot of stuff or bigger bottles and other things at the same time. That's the very basic looking instrument cluster in front, but it's packed with features, and you can control a lot of things via this scroller button here. And as you can see, you've got a digital speedometer, navigation, music, cruise control, some warning messages that can be shown up here, and that's the park assist, which can be shut and on by this button here. And yeah, you've got your fuel gauge, temperature gauge, and a normal set of dials. That's the renowned clock that that every Lexus gets. Start stop button, keyless entry and go. This is the mouse pad, gear lever, and it's got a very old school CD player as well, as you saw that earlier. And what you get is this lovely mirror. I think a lot of people can use it quite well. You've got proper cup holders or can holders, whatever way you want to use it. And that's the wireless charger and a lot of other charging points as well. And you can keep more stuff below that as well. It's quite well damped as well, so things won't move around. If they move around, they will not cause a lot of noise inside the cabin. And now let's jump to the rear seat of the Lexus NX. So as you heard, the way the doors shut is also engineered, gives it a very reassuring sound, and tells you that, you know, it's a very well built luxury car. Those are the AC vents along with heated functionality at the back. Apparently there is no charging points here, but as you can see, the seat is pushed all the way back. I still have very good knee room, excellent leg room, and when it comes to headroom, I still have a good amount of headroom. It can be tight for taller passengers, but most of them should be just fine. And yeah, since this is the biggest highlight of Lexus cars, is that you don't get a big bad floor hump like other luxury cars, so a third person can sit here relatively in good comfort. This is the seat kept in its normal position. As you can see, a lot of knee room, leg room, and as you can see, shoulder room is also quite good. And that's the look of the cabin from this side. And yeah, that's what the Lexus NX is all about. And you've got all 4 power windows which open and close in one go. And as you can see, the window is quite thick, that aids in a very silent cabin. That's what the Lexus NX is. It's an extremely silent cabin to spend some time in. The quality of the cabin also makes you spend more time in this car. And these seats are also reclinable, so that makes things even better. I think this is a segment first feature where there's even more comfort for the rear passengers, and there's a dedicated speaker as well, of course, which makes things even better. Coming back and opening the electric tailgate and seeing the boot here, and is generally not the most spacious thanks to this hump here, but it does get a storage space here for your toolkit, spare wheel, and all of that. You can still keep a lot of stuff here, but it would have been ideal if it was a little more deeper. Got the lock button for the tailgate, and it bongs every time. As you can see, it's got reversing camera, reversing sensors. It's got a 360-degree camera and a front parking sensor as well. So parking this car is an absolute no problem whatsoever situation. And now, since we've discussed most of everything else, now get to the driving part. So what's the Lexus NX 300H all about when it comes to driving? Well, it's a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder naturally aspirated motor making 195 bhp combined with the electric motors. The combustion motor makes 155 bhp of watts, and a total torque output stands at 210 newton meters. It's mated to an eCVT gearbox, and there's an electric motor on all four wheels. It's a very complicated system, but we know for a fact that Toyota, the parent company for Lexus, is known for its hybrid technology, and it's a very complicated system where it keeps on juggling between electric mode and the engine mode, and it does that so seamlessly. While most of the time, the moment you leave the accelerator, it almost goes into EV mode, it goes into coasting mode. The moment you put your foot on the accelerator pedal again, if it requires to go on the gasoline engine, it will go and do that very smoothly, very seamlessly. This is the reason why this is also the most efficient car in its class. It's almost returning almost 15 kilometers to the liter when in our combined cycle of driving, be it on the Mumbai-Pune expressway, be it in the Mumbai city, or in and around those satellite cities. That's where most of the time we spent with this SUV. It's obviously a CVT, it's a naturally aspirated motor, and you're wondering, I get turbo petrol motors and DCT gearboxes and torque converters. While the whole brand, this car was made while the rest of the competition already had that for decades. There's a reason why Lexus has chosen this, old school platform of the engine and gearbox, is because this makes the car extremely easy to drive, and it makes it even much more fuss-free than most of its rivals. So if I were to accelerate quite hard, I'm not going to get the kick into the pants feeling in a very large extent that I get with the turbo motors. All of this engine gearbox combination makes the things very easy, very smooth, and Lexus also understands the fact that we end up driving in the city a lot. Even if you choose to buy this car and drive it only for the weekends on the highway, you're still going to spend a considerable time navigating through city traffic. And in that aspect, and in that particular area, naturally aspirated motors still make sense. They are still more fuel economical in that area where you spend most of your time, and that ends up delivering even more fuel economy. And since it's paired with a hybrid system, it makes for a fantastic car to have, because owning a luxury car means people expect the fuel bills to be quite high. This won't be that high, considering the fuel efficiency is top notch. Of course, there is the rubber band effect to a certain extent when you floor the throttle and then the CVT spins, gets you into the power band and all of that. But it's still worth it, is what I'm trying to say. Because after spending a week with this car and spending, time with other cars in this segment as well, I still think there is space for a car like this with this powertrain combination. It's a very smooth, very refined engine. It does not make noise most of the time, and if you have the fantastic sound system you will barely know any noise that is coming inside the cabin. Talking about ride and handling, well, the suspension, it's tuned in a way like most luxury cars are, but Lexus has still kept the basic suspension setup where the lower stroke of the suspension is on the stiffer side. So that means you will feel stiffness at low speeds. It can be jarring at times when you hit a bigger pothole, but it stays composed, it stays almost flat. So that's the reason why you get that feel that you are driving a luxury car. You're not being tossed around while driving in the city. Like I said, the powertrain was chosen for a reason. The suspension also is done for a reason, and that is that particular reason. The upper stroke of this suspension, well, it's on the softer side, and so are the springs and the dampers, and that lends it a bit of body roll, and while changing lanes and going through corners slightly fast. But then again, Lexus does not claim that their cars are the most sportiest to drive. They are safe, they're composed, they're stable, and that's about it. The braking, despite there is regeneration on offer, is good, but could have been better when it comes to the pedal bite and etc. But there is enough stopping power from any speed. We've done multiple emergency braking tests. It's India, so you have to every time you step out the house, and it showed a lot of composure. It's braked right on time, but I still would think that it requires a bit extra performance from the brakes, and I think that's down to this particular car. I think when we drove it a couple of years ago, it performed slightly better than this, so I think it's the age and not the braking performance altogether. The steering, well, it's a typical Lexus steering. It's one of the easiest steerings to live with on a daily basis. It's light, it's precise. Obviously it's not that feedback rich, but it tells, it does whatever you tell it to, and it will provide you with a good amount of precision, and you will know where the wheels are. And I think that's the only thing that you can expect from a car which does not claim to be sporty. I think we've explained the brakes, the suspension, the engine gearbox combination, and that's what the Lexus is. It's a very, I think it's one of the most sophisticated takes when it comes to this segment of SUVs, because it does things so simply yet so beautifully. And I keep on saying that every time I drive a Japanese car, because you have to realize how simple and good these cars are. The old school nature is also has a charm of its own. And it's not like the technology is old. When this car came into the Indian market, we were just about to get BS4, but Lexus claimed that their cars are BS6 ready. So 4 years in advance they were ready with the emissions. So it's not that they are behind technology, it's just that this is how things are done. There is a specific customer base. One test drive, let's say for a couple of kilometers, and you will realize how smooth, how easy this car is to drive, and how comforting this is to everybody inside the cabin, and that will make sure that you go ahead and probably book this car. I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching our video. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, and still have some comments. Put them in the comment section below. We'll be happy to answer them. And again, thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.